When I was little, Ima was my main babysitter. I don't remember much about that time, but the stories that my family told me taught me a lot about what true love is. I remember when I was a baby and she flew to the States from the Philippines just to help take care of me. She would suck out my sipon. My sipon, not with a syringe or anything, but with her mouth, her own mouth. She would just suck it straight out of my nose and then spit it out like it was the most natural thing in the world. She stayed with us when I was in high school too. Every day, I would come home from school and find her in the living room, watching her teleseries, having her merienda. And she would always say the same thing to me. Did you eat already? Are you hungry? Go get some food from the fridge. Some of my best memories of that are the most recent. The way she loved Zoe so quickly and so completely, like she was just another daughter, an extension of herself. And for whatever reason, Zoe treated her differently too, like she knew Ima was special. If she would see Ima walking down the stairs, she would run to grab her hand and lead her down safely and gently. She never forgot to say hello to her, or goodbye, or I love you. And in turn, Ima showered her with more of the same kind of love she showed us growing up, offering food, kissing her on the head by curling in her lips and taking a deep breath through her nose. That's the Ima I remember, caring in a gentle way, loving in a casual way. Our hearts are heavy that she's gone, but our hearts are also full of joy for where she is now. No more pain, no more worrying, just never-ending peace at the Lord's heavenly banquet, reunited with her husband and her son and all of our other loved ones who have gone to rest. And we know that she's just one more addition to the army of angels watching over all of us. We love you, Ima, and we're looking forward to the day when we can see you again.
The last time I saw Lola in person, she gave me one of her bracelets. Since the moment she helped me put it on, I've never taken it off. I'm glad that I'll always have a little piece of you to bring along with me and remember you by. Though because we've always been either a country or continent away from each other, I don't really think I have that many memories that I can say we shared. However, no matter the distance or lack of memories, I know for a fact that Lola Ima was a loving and doting mother, grandmother, and friend to us all. God is lucky to have such a giving, thoughtful, and beautiful woman up there to keep him company. And hey, heaven might even have soap operas, Lola Ima. I don't have the words to describe what you meant to us all, but from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you. Thank you for being born, because without you, there wouldn't be a Garcia family. Or at least one as big as we are. So thank you for my family. Thank you for my dad. And thank you for the endless amount of love that you were able to share with all of us. I hope wherever you are, you're happily resting in peace. So until the day we meet again, I leave my days with the knowledge that I once had a grandmother named Elena Ocampo Garcia. A woman I not just loved but was immensely proud of. See you later, Lola Ima.
While my heart is heavy to say goodbye to Ima, I know that she lived every day of her life, loving each and every one of us to the fullest. In a way, I'm comforted with the fact that Ima no longer needs to split her time between her family in the Philippines and in America. In God's cosmic way, regardless of the distance, He made it so Ima could be with all of us at the same time. Growing up, I have many fond memories of Ima visiting and staying with us in Los Angeles. As kids, I remember enjoying our daily walks, coming home from school with merienda ready for us to eat, even if it was just a sliced fruit with salt. I remember being greeted with her famous sniff kisses, listening to her cackle at my corny jokes, and her teaching us how to play cards. When mistakes were made, she was always quick to forgive, and oftentimes did what she could to help us get out of trouble. Ima not only took care of us, but she helped us understand what it meant to love unconditionally, how to be more patient with life, and the importance of keeping God at the center. And even though we all grew up and our days as kids are long over, I don't believe that Ima ever stopped looking at us the same way. Whether I was a chubby 5-year-old kid, a rebellious 13-year-old teenager with baggy clothes, or the 35-year-old man that I am today, Ima always looked at me with the same amount of love and kindness in her eyes. No matter what I did, how I looked, or what I said, there was never any judgment on her part. I knew, in my heart of hearts, I knew Ima would always be in my corner to support me and love me. To her, I would always be the same Jay that she used to carry around in her arms. Although she never played favorites, I knew she would always be my number one fan. Whether it was true or not, Ima would always remind me of how handsome I was. I even caught her telling my fiancé at that time of how much of a good catch I was and that she would not be able to find anybody as kind or as good looking as me. While I thought it was funny that she was still trying to upsell me despite my fiancé already accepting my proposal, I appreciated the fact that she had my back and my best interest at heart. That was a classic Ima move. She always saw the best in us, even during the times when we were too blind to see it for ourselves. And while I'm sad to let her go, I'm comforted with the fact that she is no longer in pain, that she was surrounded by family and friends during her last moments, and that she was able to see both the beauty and the blessings of her life. I will continue to pray for the repose of her soul, and I'm at peace knowing that after 32 years of being apart, she will be reunited with Tatang. I could only imagine how beautiful that reunion will be. Ima, thank you for loving us so fully and for teaching us how to age in grace. Thank you for the sincerity of your actions and for all the sacrifices you made along the way. Thank you for being a beacon of God's light and for showing us the true meaning of strength from within. I pray that one day we'll be able to reciprocate that same type of love to our children and future grandchildren. I love you so much. I hope that the mahjong in heaven is a good one.
I don't have a particular story to share, but I would like to mention how she had this natural ability to make you feel loved and welcomed. It wouldn't matter if she knew you for a day or for a year. She sincerely cared about everyone just the same. Her kindness and generosity was given to everyone unconditionally, and you really felt it. I will deeply miss Ima. She was truly one of a kind.
This may sound insensitive, but when I heard Ima passed away, I was not devastated. She lived a full life and passed away peacefully in the presence of family. She lived to see her grandchildren achieve happiness and success, both personally and professionally. My fondest memories of her when I was a child, we would go to her place in Cubao, and I would always look forward to her pancit palabok and leche flan. I remember even back then, her passions were mahjong and telenovelas. When I first visited California, I was not used to the dry air and my skin would get itchy. She would scratch my back at night to relieve the itchiness. I know, medically that's not the best idea, but it felt really good at that time. Her 70th and 80th birthday celebrations were to me some of the most memorable family gatherings. I could only hope that when I celebrate my 70th and 80th birthdays, the family gatherings would be just as memorable. I'll know then that I lived a life just as full and as rich as she did.
In a family, every individual plays a certain role. Some are the leaders, some are the anchors, some are the worker bees. In our family, the role that Ima played so naturally and so profoundly was the heart. She exuded nothing but love to not only her children, but to all her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She had such a gentle ease to her that just being around her made you instantly feel better. She didn't have to say or do much, yet you knew the moment she gave you her sniff kiss or laughed her cute little chuckle or complimented you on your outfit or a particular accomplishment. You knew exactly how much she loved you and how proud she was of you. If your ego ever needed a little bump, all you needed to do was go see Matt, and she wouldn't fail to tell you how beautiful or handsome you were, or that you were nothing short of the best. She prayed incessantly for her family, and I'm certain that it was through her quiet prayers and well wishes that brought about so many blessings to our family. Although my brothers and I didn't get to grow up having Ima around, we really treasured the months she would spend in Los Angeles caring for us. When Jay and I were around 7 years old and Ima would come to stay with us, we got so attached to her that when it was time for her to go back to the Philippines, we would cry. One of my fondest memories of Ima was when she decided it was time to break the news to us that Santa wasn't real and that it was actually my parents who was getting us the gifts. Her intention was never to ruin the magic of Santa Claus for us, but rather it was to help my mom and dad not have to spend extra money getting us Santa gifts. She told us, Santa is really your mom and dad. He's not real. When we didn't believe her, she told us to look under my mom's bed to find the bow and arrow set we had requested. Even though we were slightly disappointed at the thought that Santa wasn't real, we understood why she did it. We told her we'd pretend to not know just one more year as a compromise. I also remembered the times when we would go on walks when Jerick was still a baby, and we would stop by the local convenience store to buy some nachos. Whenever I saw her having a hard time walking in later years, I would always cling to the memory of the Ima I remember that would walk at least 1 to 2 miles with her grandchildren, just gallivanting around our neighborhood. She had so much energy and really enjoyed being out of the house. One of the biggest blessings God gave me was the opportunity for Ima to be around my firstborn daughter, Zoe. Ima arrived a couple of months before I gave birth and was able to witness Zoe's first 3.5 years of life. She was one of Zoe's biggest fans. To her, there was no child more beautiful, more smart, more amazing than Zoe. My daughter, who was also very protective and caring of Ima, she always made sure Ima was safe and had her walker. It was like Ima was her baby. It brought me so much joy to see the two of them interacting, and I thank God every day for the gift of Zoe being able to know her great-grandmother. As Ima's last great act of love to me, she delayed her flight to heaven until my second daughter, Kaya, was born. My mom would use my growing belly as motivation for her during her rough days to keep eating, keep trying to get better so that she can meet Kaya, even if it was just via FaceTime. And that's exactly what she did. She waited. She loved me so much that she held on a little longer. Kaya was born on Wednesday, April 18th. Thanks to technology, she was able to FaceTime with her and to see her new great-granddaughter. She saw the full head of her hair, how excited Zoe and all of us were to have a new little baby in our lives. And of course, she didn't fail to say how beautiful Kaya was. I will be forever grateful for this last act of love. Even on her deathbed, she chose to be selfless. 2 days later, she joined our Lord and reminded us all of the cycle of life and the importance of not taking anything for granted, especially when it comes to family. I love you so much, Ima. Thank you for all that you've done for our family.